Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
I'm here to save the day. I'm here to save the day.
Soon I will be invincible. Because comics. Welcome to Because Comics. This is episode 62. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and I'm joined by my co-host, the collectible Mike Christensen.
Collect all me.
Oh man, Mike, everybody's gotta catch you all.
That's right. I'm a collectible. So if you find me, you should definitely hold on to me. Mm-hmm. Don't take me out of the box.
Now, Mike, as you're saying that, if you could slowly step into the carbonite chamber, that would be great. So,
yep, totally.
As we're doing this podcast, I'm going to slowly lower Mike into carbonite.
And this is going to help me meet women, right? That's what you told me. Is
absolutely.
Because if I'm a precious commodity,
you're going to look pristine, Mike.
Okay, awesome.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Nobody tell him what's going on. But you know what? In the meantime, Mike, to distract you, to keep you occupied.
From what?
Let's talk about comics.
Oh, okay. I like talking about comics.
Awesome.
Jay, every episode we talk about the comics on our pull list, the comics we read every time they come out. And why don't you kick us off with what are you reading? Is it perhaps a surprise if people know you well and they think, oh, I know what kind of comics Jay likes? They're just going to talk about something different and new.
Yeah, something real new. I've been
not
really,
from the same creators,
really
not the same
excited.
character.
It's a Batman comic.
What?
It's a All-Star Batman.
Well,
so
that's
it's
written
not
by
the same Batman run. Let me clarify.
It's not technically the same series.
Not technically the same because it has a new number one, and it is called All-Star and not just Batman.
Now, the writer is different. Is it not?
The writer is in fact, fun fact, the writer is in fact the same Batman writer named Scott Snyder.
Who you've talked about thrice on the show?
Possibly thrice. Going for the quattro. But the artist is not Greg Capullo, who is amazing.
He is amazing.
But the artist is also another amazing artist.
Yes.
John Romita Jr.
Yes, indeed.
Which really, I'm not going to talk about Batman too much. Okay, I've talked about Batman a lot. I also believe I did a main segment on Batman. I did.
I would argue still very difficult to talk about Batman too much.
That's a good point. But
it's a point. I don't know if it's a good point.
Right. But John Romita Jr. Batman with Scott Snyder writing, I just had to check it out, and it is very different and weird from the regular Scott Snyder run, and I think it's because Scott Snyder is out of the regular Batman continuity. If anybody's following what DC's doing, they've kind of taken a step forward. I talked about in the DC Rebirth episode that they've kind of course corrected in a certain way with all of their DC line, and they definitely have with Batman. There's a new writer on the current Batman run that is not Scott Snyder, because Scott Snyder has stepped away and Greg Capullo is no longer teaming with him, which
he's not doing the flagship Batman book anymore.
Right. Which is why All-Star Batman is great, because basically Scott Snyder's like, I don't have to follow the regular continuity, technically, and I can do whatever I want, sort of, with all these crazy artists. Because right now it's John Romita Jr., but apparently it's going to be a litany of, top the best of the best artists out there for this specific run on All-Star Batman. So let me give you just the high level of what All-Star Batman is about. Definitely check it out. Essentially, it's a Batman road trip. Scott Snyder took a page from the Daredevil run and was like, you know what? We're just going to have Batman on the road. And he talks about it in the back issue of the comic. He was influenced by an actual road trip he took with his family. And he was just like, you know what? We're going to do a road trip with Batman. Basically, he's driving a criminal. Not driving. He's flying a criminal. He could be driving as a Batmobile. But he is flying a criminal to a specific place. Now, they haven't said what this place is.
Is this Con Air?
It's kind of like Con Air.
Or 310 to Yuma?
Kind of like 310 to Yuma, more than anything. Because this criminal has kind of put out a hit, quote unquote, on him and Batman, and being like, if you don't stop Batman from taking me to this place, very bad things will happen. And essentially, this is because Scott Snyder, as a writer on the Batman series, and if you don't know this, Scott Snyder likes to work in bigger metaphors. It's not just like, let's watch this guy fight Batman. It's much more metaphorical conversations. And this is essentially Batman versus actual, people. Like are people good, essentially?
People on the street, yeah.
Yeah, people on the street. Are they good? It's essentially the Dark Knight. If you give people the chance, will they be evil or will they be good? And this series very much is analyzing that with this villain kind of trying to turn society against Batman while they're on this road trip. I won't tell you who the villain is, although you open the comic page 2 or 3, it'll be right there, but it's still an interesting take on a new villain that Scott Snyder has not really tackled yet. He's done the Riddler and the Joker a million times and created the Court of Owls and things like that. But this is definitely a new take on an existing villain. It's really interesting. John Romita Jr.'s art is amazing as always, and he definitely lends a different feel to Batman. I feel like I've seen a lot of John Romita Jr. art. I really loved him on his Captain America run when it was really weird.
Oh, yeah, with Rick Remender.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't seen him do Batman before, and it's very different, and Scott Snyder is definitely not keeping the same attitude he's given Batman in the past. It's definitely a little bit of a different feel, a little bit even more, I don't want to say comic book-y.
Superhero-y.
Yeah, more superhero-y, more almost, I wouldn't even say like Golden Age, even like Silver Age-y Batman. I would say more Golden Age-y Batman in this road trip, because road trips have a little bit more of that fun feel to it, and this Batman definitely has a little bit more of the fun to him than he does in the regular Scott Snyder run. So check it out. It's really crazy. The art is really, really fun. There's a lot of fun little side cameos even in this first issue, from some random Batman villains. So check it out, guys. All-Star Batman. It's really great. So Mike, what is your pull?
My pull is a comic by Aftershock Comics,
Ooh.
Who I don't know, but this is a series I found on Comixology. It's called Animosity. And the premise is that one day, out of nowhere, all of the animals on Earth they sort of wake up. They start thinking and talking.
Whoa.
And a lot of them start taking revenge. Is
Is it because we have a lot of them as pets and the rest of them we eat?
There's a fair amount of resentment, yes. It's really... first of all, I should say, it's written by Marguerite Bennett, and it is drawn by, if I pronounce this right, which I probably won't, Rafael de Latorre.
Okay.
And it's about a little girl and her dog trying to get out of the city.
While the rest of the animals take...
Not all the animals, but a good number of the animals are taking revenge on any humans they can see. And it's just a matter of just trying to get to safety, because it happens everywhere all at once, simultaneously. But we are thrown into their story pretty quickly. But first we get a little prologue of seeing the animals rising up. And this page, this is almost like a recap page, but it opens with the passage from Genesis where God invents animals. And then a little description that says, I'm going to read this directly from the book. Yesterday, God was in his heaven. The average American consumed this much meat, this much, these are this many animals on Earth. This many of them were this kind. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's pretty involved.
Right.
This many species of insects, this many species of mammals. There are also 7,250,000,000 humans, but who's counting? As of 2016, there were over 1,203,375 species of animals and 1 species of human. But as more than 10,000 new species are identified in categories each year, these statistics are nebulous. And since we got the data from the animals, who knows? Maybe they're effing liars. Mostly, what we know is this. For no goddamn reason, one day the animals woke up. They started thinking, they started talking, they started taking revenge. We call it the wake. It's less dramatic than the funeral.
Wow.
And then it opens with a 3-page montage of animals in everyday situations, raising their clutches of eggs, or, being put down, or mating, or doing shows at SeaWorld. And then they start to talk or attack or whatever. And sometimes some of it's benign. Some of it's just, hey, I can't live with this. She's cheating on you. Or the cat, waking up the guy and being like, if you ever hit her again, so help me God. The pandas grab the guns from the guys.
Wow.
The Shamu guy says, Jessica, I can't take this anymore. You complete me. I'm in love with you.
What?
To his trainer. The polar bear suddenly feels really guilty about eating the seal. Then the next, when we actually meet our characters, our girl and her dog, these birds just start plunging in through the windows, shouting, die, 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 die. And then we're just in it. And the comic is just really violent, really harsh language. Even Even the captions
birds
swear.
are notorious. They use really terrible language, guys.
It's an R-rated comic, and it's just so good. It's like, I've never seen Zoo, but the premise of Zoo was essentially like, hey, the animals are organized or whatever.
Right.
But here the animals aren't organized. They're just all waking up, and some of them are totally cool with us. Like the dog is like...
They clearly have their memories of like pre-wake,
Yes,
essentially.
exactly,
But
yeah.
they weren't able to formalize them into actual, I guess, clear thought. But it's all still there.
Yeah, exactly. And like, there, the dog, and there's this cat in the hallway as well, is trying to like, get to safety. Meanwhile, we're seeing like, an octopus grabbing a bunch of knives from from in a sushi shop.
That's amazing. That's a fun visual right there.
It's so good. And we just see a plane going down in the background. We can just imagine the birds
Or just taking planes down.
It's real good. It's a real good comic. It's only one issue is out so far, and it's just I am on board and I am hooked.
Wow.
Because it's a different apocalypse than we usually see. Because it's not just all the animals are out after us, but a lot of them are, and for not the worst reasons.
Yeah, I mean, we use the concept of the food chain essentially as a clear-all. But yeah, I mean, if the animals could
or passage
walk
from scripture where it says, man was put in charge of the beasts. That was the premise. We were given custody of them.
But if it was suddenly like, the animals can think and talk and
they can fend
have
for
opinions
themselves
too. And it's just like, oh boy, this is a real tough situation.
It's really good, and I really like it, and I want to read more of it.
Wow. I mean, I can't wait for the Ninja Turtle episode. I mean, that's clearly going to be an issue where the turtles are forming ninja clans.
Oh, man, if they did a crossover with Ninja Turtles, that would be real weird.
It would be very strange. Well, that sounds amazing. I definitely want to check that out.
It's very bloody. Like, there's blood in the logo.
Right.
A bloody paw print.
Wow.
Actually, I think they're fingers that are dragged. It's a little unclear, but it's called Animosity. They're a little hostile.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's real good.
Wow. All right. Well, that was a great pull, and that'll take us to our main segment. Mike, kick things off.
Oh, things are about to get so weird. Godzilla versus Barkley.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Just somebody named Barkley.
No, Charles Barkley.
What? Okay, so
in 1992, there was a Nike commercial.
Well, good way to start.
This is basically a continuation of that premise.
I love that somebody was like, okay, I mean, we're not gonna just leave this, right? We have to finish telling this tale of this great
do an adaptation. I'm going to open up this comic that I bought online.
Yep.
There it is. There's the cover.
Oh my God. This is amazing. Not always do we have on the show actual physical comics.
We read a lot of them online because it's a lot easier to find them that way.
I mean, this is just amazing. This is quite literally a giant Charles Barkley versus Godzilla.
This is
standing in a burning city.
This is a Dark Horse comic from 1993. The script is by Mike Barron, although apparently the plot is by Alan Smithee, which some of you...
Was Alan Smithee like the advertiser? Maybe?
Oh, do you not... Alan Smithee is the name that directors use when they don't want to be associated with their projects.
Wait, what?
That's an industry term. It's not used anymore because of I think there was a movie that used it too much or something because it was about that. So the industry kind of like shut it down. You can't do that anymore.
They're like, you killed the joke.
But it used to be if someone didn't want their name on a movie, they would use Alan Smithee as their alias.
That's pretty amazing.
Yep. So the plot is by Alan Smithee. That's probably part of the in-joke already.
Now it would have been amazing, though, if this was like the first Alan Smithee, and because of this, people were I don't want to be associated with
Alan
things.
Smithee's a very old joke.
Amazing.
Jeff Butler did the pencils. Keith Aiken did the inks. And here we go. We open with a ship off the coast of California. Some Asian men, we're not told what language they're speaking, but we know they're speaking in a different language because it's got the little Animorph style, lesser than, greater than symbols on either side of the dialogue. And there's something interfering with their transmissions. There's something going on. And one of the sailors...
Sure.
I mean, they're not really sailing because they don't have sails on the ship. So one of the seamen says, "Captain, when my father was a young man in Osaka..." Oh, they're Japanese. Duh.
There you go. I was waiting for you to get there, but we finally got there.
I mean, hey, they could be from anywhere.
That's
They're
true.
off the coast of California.
But he did say Osaka, which, fun fact, located in Japan.
He is at least part Japanese. When my father was a young man in Osaka, he saw Godzilla. And the other man says, "Silence! It's bad luck to even mention his name. We're modern men. We do not believe in the old legends."
Which, that's a very contradictory statement. He said, don't say that like it's like superstitious, but then he's like, we don't believe in superstition.
Yes. And then the other man says, I'm sorry to disagree with you, Captain, but sonar shows something large in the water, and...
sorry, Captain, Godzilla's real.
Sure enough, Godzilla just pops up out of the water and breaks the boat in half.
Whoa!
It's like a freighter. It's like a Titanic-looking thing. Well, not with the steam things, but, it's a big old boat. And
Godzilla's like, somebody said my name. Who was it? Oh, crap. Did I break this boat already?
Yeah, basically. They were in the middle of an unexplained storm, and now maybe the storm is more explained. I don't know why.
Sure.
Anyway, cut to a California beach. Again, there's no caption to tell us where we are. I would guess maybe Los Angeles. I don't know. And there's a young boy, a young black boy leading his grandpa to go try to see Charles Barkley because he's here on the beach for a photo shoot.
Oh my God, for half a moment I forgot that this was Charles Barkley versus Godzilla. Right, here we go.
This young boy named Matthew runs ahead of his grandpa. Gramps is the name that we're given for him.
Fair enough.
But he can't get close to Charles Barkley. There's all these people around, all of the crew and the entourage, and, a guy on a cell phone, which is like a big old brick, and like a girl in a bikini and cut off jeans.
The classic Charles Barkley crew.
Yeah, exactly. And, all these people want to meet Charles Barkley, and they all say they're his biggest fan. There's a guy who came all the way from Brisbane. There's a guy who's an important Hollywood producer. There's someone who's, I guess, his girlfriend, and said, he didn't even know who Charles Barkley was till he met me, and they all want to meet Charles Barkley. And
wow, I like the guy from Brisbane, though, because that guy planned a very expensive, very complicated trip to meeting Charles Barkley on a beach
on
in
the
California,
off chance that you could meet him.
that he would run into him.
And Matthew wants to meet him. The security sends him away. Says, no, you want to see him, you got to buy a ticket to a game. And,
or run into him on the beach, I guess.
Well, I mean, there's security and stuff, and they're sending him away. And, one of the cops, I guess,
but also,
says,
like a game, you're not going to get closer to Charles Barkley.
Depends on the tickets you buy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or if you're a Godzilla, I guess.
Well, we'll see. Matthew and his grandpa start walking, and he says, they wouldn't let me near him. They acted like I was John Hinckley or something. I don't remember that reference.
I don't know that reference
I feel
either.
like I was 5 when this comic came out, so I don't know.
I feel like we're getting aged by that reference. That's John Hinckley. If anyone knows who John Hinckley is, and if you are in fact John Hinckley, let us know. Tweet at us or email us or just find us and tell us.
John Hinckley was an American attempted assassin in 1981. He tried to shoot Ronald Reagan. It's that guy.
Oh!
He's the guy who tried to shoot Ronald Reagan because he thought it would impress Jodie Foster.
Wow. Okay. John Hinckley. If you are John Hinckley and you're listening to this, don't try to find us.
John Hinckley Jr. specifically.
Oh, okay.
That's the one in question.
John Hinckley, you're fine. Junior, please, keep doing whatever it is you're doing.
We should probably cut some of this, but we're not going to.
Nope.
And, Gramps says, when you get to be as big as Charles Barkley, you got to take precautions. And, you'll get that big someday. And he's like, doing what? And he said, well, I don't know. Maybe you'll be a great warrior like Barkley. But I have something in my pocket. Did Barkley play for the Warriors, maybe? I don't know basketball.
I don't think so.
I don't know basketball. My knowledge of basketball pretty much ends with Space Jam.
Oh, God. That is an amazing only piece of knowledge for basketball.
Yeah. Anyway, Gramps hands a magic silver dollar that his grandpa gave to him when he was his age. It has magical properties. And he says, what's it ever done for you? And he says, boy, I once pitched a no-hitter against New York. Now, I ain't saying I didn't have the ability. You pitched a no-hitter against the Yankees? No, it was the New York Elite. Point is, that there Morgan... Wait, Morgan? Nope, his name was definitely Matthew on the last page.
Wait, what? The kid's name changes?
Yes.
Matthew, then Morgan.
That there Morgan is special.
Mike, you're telling me the Godzilla versus Charles Barkley comic is not...
Is Morgan a name for like a silver dollar? That there Morgan is special? Is it a special Morgan? Is that a nickname for a silver dollar?
Man, I have no idea.
I don't know that.
To be honest, I cannot give you the answer to this.
Anyway, this...
we will not check the internet.
Nope. We've already done that once this episode. That was our rule.
Yep, we only have one.
That we just decided on just now. Anyway, they come around the corner and they see a drowned victim washed up on the shore.
Oh, no.
And these people gather around him. This lifeguard runs up to him. And it turns out, maybe he's okay. He's speaking. And he says, Godzilla is coming. It's a guy from earlier.
Oh.
Warn the authorities. Evacuate the coast. And this guy who has like shoulder-length blonde hair and looks exactly like a beach kid from 1993 says, Godzilla, he must be in shock. And Matthew Morgan says, no, man, don't you know who Godzilla is? And some guy says, never heard of him. And like, okay, we need to pick a consistent continuity.
Yeah.
It is not clear how real Godzilla is.
Like, he's real enough that an entire country knows about him, and he exists.
Yeah.
And this other kid knows him, but, like, this random dude does not?
2 random dudes don't know it.
Wow.
And, Matthew says, he's a monster. I guess he's the biggest monster of all time. They call him the king of the monsters. That was a really repetitive sentence. And the guy says, what are you, king of the liars? And Matthew says, oh yeah, look out there. Which really seems like a set him up for a Meiju look. But no, Godzilla shows up in the water.
Wow.
Godzilla just shows up and just starts stomping onto the beach.
Hey, I mean, Godzilla wants to keep his credit out
And
there.
hey, Gramps calls him Matthew again. So I think maybe his name is Matthew and Morgan is a term for a thing.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, the police show up in their RV because it's the beach.
Sure.
And they try to clear the beach, but this kid, Matthew, he doesn't do that. He hops on a skateboard. He goes looking for Barkley. Charles Barkley is the world's greatest warrior.
Amazing.
Only he can stop Godzilla.
Amazing.
He rides the skateboard down the pier. These jets fly by, and Matthew says, man, those aren't going to stop that old monster. Guess they got to learn the hard way. And sure enough, these missiles do not successfully kill Godzilla, and Godzilla shoots them out of the sky with his laser breath. I know it's called atomic fire. I know that, guys. I watched 2 Godzilla movies. They were the bad ones. The American ones. Those are the only Godzilla movies I've seen.
Sad.
And Godzilla vs. Bambi.
What? We gotta come back to whatever that is.
Oh, we'll talk about it later.
I guess it's pretty clear.
It's an animated...
Is it an animated movie of a giant monster barbecuing a very tiny deer?
It is an animated movie about it is just a deer just grazing as credits roll, and then when the credits roll, Godzilla's foot squashes it.
Wow.
That's the whole video.
Amazing. You
It's
learned
like
about
3
atomic breath in that video.
It's like 3 minutes long. No, I learned about atomic breath and I don't know where. Anyway, Matthew runs up to Barkley and shouts, hey, Charles! And Charles Barkley turns and says, wait a minute. I thought I heard a kid call my name. Weirdly specific.
Very strange.
And then these guys
You
are like...
sure you thought you heard, or you did hear someone call your name?
And Barkley's handlers say things like, gotta leave now, Mr. Barkley. There's a monster down the beach. And you're due at the Optimists Club at noon. You've got nothing to gain here. But Matthew skateboards up a ramp, lands in front of Barkley, and actually lands in his arms.
Wow.
Yeah. And says, I gotta talk to you. And they're like, we don't have time for this, Mr. Barkley. You're due at the Optimists Club, Mr. Barkley. And not, hey, look, there's a goddamn Godzilla down the beach. You know
we
that?
have to get you out of here.
Yeah, they should really be moving a lot faster. And one of them says, there's a time and a place for this, Mr. Barkley. And it's like, first of all, there clearly isn't, because there's no real
This
system
is a
set up.
very strange situation. Like,
Yes.
where is there a time and place for this exact scenario?
But he says, you gotta stop Godzilla. Take this $1. I don't have to stop that ugly monster, and I don't want your $1.
By the way, Charles Barkley's perspective. Let's lay this out for a moment.
Yeah.
Just hanging out on the beach with his friends.
Well, no, he's doing like a photo shoot.
Okay, he's doing like a photo op of
Or some
kind.
sort of shoot, yeah.
Right. Regardless. Photo shoot on the beach. People just trying to meet him. Normal stuff. Godzilla shows up. Also, a kid lands in his lap and offers him what he can, I guess, only assume is a magic dollar. Like the sentence is,
So far, just a silver $1.
here is a silver $1 to fight Godzilla.
Yes.
What? That's a sentence Charles Barkley just heard.
Yes, it is. And he says, I don't have to stop that ugly monster, and I don't want your $1. You want to give me $1, buy a ticket to the game.
Oh, okay.
But Charles, only you can stop Godzilla because you're Earth's greatest warrior. You may have a point there.
Now-
What's your name, kid?
Now listen, if Charles Barkley turns into Ultraman by the end of this comic, this will be the greatest thing I've ever heard.
The kid identifies himself as Matt, so, pretty consistent for the most part so far.
So far.
And once again, this one of these people around him, one of his handlers says, we have to leave now, Mr. Barkley. You know what? You're fired. What? You heard me. Go on. Take a hike.
How dare you make a totally normal recommendation?
Yeah, reasonable, one would say.
Yeah, very reasonable.
And one of his guys says, what if you say something that offends someone, like a little old lady in Vermont? You guys, tell her to write me, okay? Now give us some space. And yes, it is written that way. The letters go up and down in the dialogue balloon, and he says, you
Wow.
guys. Yeah. Anyway, licensed comics. Anyway, cut to Charles driving, which... Would he drive his own car? Whatever. He's driving.
He would.
I mean, he fired all of his people, so I guess. And what makes you think I could stop Godzilla even if I wanted to? And the kid says, it It's an ancient legend my grandpa told me. Ancient legend.
Wow.
Ancient legend. This kid is overselling.
Amazing. An ancient legend?
All you need is the magic silver dollar, which I got here. Ancient legend, by the way, his grandpa got that from his grandpa. That's 5 generations.
Yeah. Also, he just got that silver dollar.
It has been 10 minutes. By the way, Godzilla's just in the background as like things are on fire and the jets are flying around him in like Los Angeles. I think we're in Los Angeles. It looks like Los Angeles. Could be San Diego. And Charles Barkley looks at the coin and says, an 1889 Morgan silver dollar. It's a Morgan silver dollar.
There we go.
There you go.
We just solved it.
In fine condition. And the kid says, maybe you got to put it in your mouth or something. Just grasping at straws.
This is amazing.
You don't put strange money in your mouth. You don't know where it's been. Thanks, Charles Barkley.
Thanks, Charles Barkley.
Wait.
What is going on?
Wait. Hang on. They're driving down the street. Totally empty streets, which is insane. Why aren't there more people trying to evacuate? He says, wait, there's a hoop. Pull in, Charles Barkley. No, pull in there, Charles. He didn't say Charles Barkley. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I would.
Of course you would.
I want to show you some moves.
Okay. Hold on a second here. So, Charles Barkley meets this kid.
Yep.
It's told about an ancient prophecy.
Yep.
That involves a silver dollar, a Morgan silver dollar.
Not a prophecy, a legend.
A legend. Sorry, very different than a prophecy.
Not that different.
The kid suggests that he puts it in his mouth. Charles Barkley goes on a prolonged conversation with his child about not putting money in your mouth.
One sentence, but yes.
The kid then tells him to go to a basketball court because he wants to show him some moves.
You want to show me? How tall are you? 4'10", just like a little shotgun. Tell you what, I'll play you for that silver dollar.
What? There is a Godzilla attacking the city!
And then wait, hang on. Then Charles says, you'll play me? I think the dialogue balloon was meant to come from Matt the second time. I'll play you for that silver dollar, I think was meant to come from Matt. I don't know.
Like, Charles Barkley is very agreeable. Like,
he is.
Without, I guess his people, like, corral him because he's just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just play this kid for a silver dollar.
Yeah. What? And he says, that's right. You don't care. You don't care about what Godzilla does to the city. I guess I got to teach you a lesson. I got a ball right here. Because of course he does. Well, how do you want to do this? 1-on-1. We go to 15. You spot me 13 because you're a little taller. Want to take it out? Heck no. We got to flip for it. Give me that silver dollar. And he flips the coin and it lands on the ground. It lands on its edge. Perfectly on its edge.
Oh.
And then he says, you toss it, Charles. Okay, I'll give it a whirl. Charles Barkley reaches down, picks up the dollar, and immediately turns Godzilla size.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to take that one more time.
Yeah, please, because I blanked out for a moment.
The coin lands on its edge.
Uh-huh. Yep, I was there with you.
So you can't call it heads or tails.
Now, this kid intentionally flipped a coin, and it landed on its edge.
He flipped a coin, and then it landed on its edge.
Okay.
He wanted to call it, I don't know, whatever. He says, you toss it, Charles. I think they're impressed. It's a little bit of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, or the rules of physics applying kind of thing.
Yeah. And then after he picks up the coin, what happened next?
Well, Charles Barkley picks up the coin.
Oh, okay.
And he turns into the size of Godzilla.
Okay. So he flips the coin. It lands
Basketball
on its side.
grows with him, by the way, proportionally the same size.
The basketball enlarges with him?
Yeah, all of his clothes and everything he's holding, which is the basketball. Maybe not the coin. I don't know where the coin went.
Why would the coin grow with him? That just seems crazy.
I'm sorry. What? What did you just ask?
Why would the coin grow with him?
You're right. That's where we draw the line.
That's really weird. I mean, the basketball, obviously.
And then Charles Barkley turns and he sees Godzilla breathing atomic fire into the streets of Los Diego and says, yeah, man.
Wakes up in his own bed and goes, man, I gotta stop eating so late before I go to sleep.
He says, yeah, Matt, I see what you mean. Now I feel like playing some hoops.
Amazing.
We cut to Godzilla rampaging and the, traffic people, the news copters reporting on what's going on. The governor's hands are tied. Any force sufficient to destroy the monster would result in massive loss of life. This is Jane Planet reporting live from the KQED news copter.
That writer really checked out when he was writing those names. He was like, Jane Planet, here we go.
Why not? They've been informed by the Japanese Ministry of Defense that the monster's name is Godzilla. Japan is sending a special team.
Nobody knows what this is, but this kid does, and an entire country. A giant lizard that breathes fire named Godzilla, and nobody knows.
Japan is sending a special team to help fight Godzilla, but it may already be too late. Wait a minute, something's happening. And then
Amazing.
Barkley comes around the corner, dribbling his basketball, says, Hey, you sorry suitcase-looking sucker, I'm talking to you. And the reporter says, this is unbelievable. It's Charles Barkley, and he's 300 feet tall. He's addressing Godzilla. I'm going to put this on the air. Why weren't you on the air before?
Exactly. Now,
Planets.
For a moment, I want to paint a picture for you. Cameraman loading up his truck. He's having a pretty good day out with Jane Planet. They've gotten some regular reviews.
Janet Planet.
Sorry, wait, Janet Planet?
Janet Planet.
All right. All right, Janet Planet. He's been out all day having these interviews with Janet Planet.
You gotta admit, Janet Planet's better.
Yes, it is. Arguably. He's loading up the truck. Janet Planet runs up to him and says, now listen, Mark, I know we've had a long day, but listen, there is a giant lizard monster named Godzilla attacking the city. Wait for it. Charles Barkley, yes, professional basketball player Charles Barkley has grown to the size of a skyscraper. Also, challenging Godzilla to basketball. What do you mean I have to see a doctor? And then we cut back to Godzilla.
Janet Planet was the name of a jazz singer, but I don't think that's who this is meant to be.
Probably not the same person.
No, probably not. Anyway, the helicopter goes up to interview Charles Barkley. Says, Charles, I'm Janet Planet with KQED News. What are you doing? I'm going to try to lead the monster out of the city. How do you plan to do that? I'm going to challenge him to some one-on-one. It's a little-known fact that Godzilla is a sucker for b-ball.
Okay, hold on. So
I don't think he's serious.
So again, this kid, and I guess only other than Japan and this kid and Charles Barkley know about Godzilla.
I don't know how serious he is, but he throws the basketball at Godzilla's head. That feels like a foul. And then Godzilla throws fire breath, lightning, atomic breath at Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley suddenly gets very quippy. You ever hear of mouthwash? Didn't think so. Let's go. I know a place in the valley.
Charles Barkley takes a lot of things in stride. I mean, he's handling this situation pretty well. They
go to Scarfy Air Force Base, which is out in the middle of nowhere. And there's... Okay.
Oh, boy.
There's a big building.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like a skyscraper-looking thing, but it's like concrete. I don't know. It's an Air Force, whatever.
Yeah, they just have those.
And there's like a dish on the front.
Okay.
It's square.
Yep.
In the middle of it, there's this little ring.
Uh-huh.
And Barkley reaches up and grabs the ring, pulls it down, and now it's a basketball hoop.
I mean...
With backboard.
I mean, I don't know why. I'm surprised. I still am. I still am surprised, but here we are.
Barkley says they'll play to 15.
What?
Show you what a nice
guy. I thought he was trying to lead him out of the city.
They are out of the city. They're at an Air Force base.
So now he's just like, well, while we're here, I mean, I guess we should still play some basketball.
Stalling for time, I guess. Give me your best game, and if you breathe on me, I'm going to take it personal. Anyway, they start playing basketball, and everyone starts driving out to watch or something.
Fox News tonight, a global spread of acid hit the entire city of Los Angeles.
And in the car, Matt and Gramps are there, and Matt says, I got Charles this gig. I'm like his manager now. And Gramps says, boy, he doesn't even know your name.
He's correct.
Well, no, he called him Matt.
I guess that's right. Also, I guess you'd remember the child that gave you the magical silver dollar that turned you into a skyscraper.
I would actually not begrudge Charles Barkley if he forgot his name in the middle of all this. That'd be fine.
He's got a lot going on.
Anyway, as they're playing, and Godzilla is playing basketball.
Like, Godzilla is dribbling?
Yeah.
And he is trying to put the basketball into the basketball net.
He does. He puts the ball in the basket.
Does he slam dunk, Mike?
Well, no, he throws it, but he does hit Barkley with his tail.
Wow.
And Barkley says, okay. You sure you never played in the NBA? Because that was a major league hit. But now Sir Charles has the ball. Show you how we do it in the West.
Mike, I did not know that Charles Barkley was knighted.
And
That's
Godzilla
so
says,
crazy.
Snarg.
What?
His sound effects are things like skronk and snorf and snarg.
I'm sure the original creators of Godzilla were really happy with that interpretation.
Snurge is one of them.
Amazing.
Woo-wee! I need to get you a deodorant endorsement. In your face, Godzilla! And at one point he hops up and he slam dunks it and says, whoops, there it is!
Wow.
And then he elbows Godzilla in the throat at one point. Excuse my elbow, good looking, but I got an appointment. And that feels like two different, like the setup and payoff didn't match the same.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And there's a whole crowd and they have a big banner that says Go Charles, which I assume they just had. Godzilla says Gronk.
I mean, yeah, they're going to the games normally. They also have that just for in case he plays a monster in basketball.
And Matt says, he's doing it, Grandpa. Barkley's beating Godzilla. He hasn't won yet, Matt. That big old lizard's getting mad. And then Godzilla gets really irate, and he melts the basketball with his atomic breath.
Whoa.
Somehow, Charles Barkley doesn't explode. He's holding it.
It, like, hits both of them full force.
Hits his hands. He's holding the basketball.
And he's just like, oh, I'm fine.
And then Barkley says, What's the matter with you? You gonna trash the ball when the game doesn't go your way? Hunk?
I'm a giant lizard.
You got some moves. Little work. You could maybe get a tryout with the Bulls, one of those second-rate teams. You don't need to be toasting the opposition. Where's your sense of
throwing
honor?
some shade on the Bulls. Not cool, Mr. Barkley.
Come here, let me talk to you. You just need the right attitude and the right equipment. I know some people could make you some great shoes. He starts walking him away, like arm around his shoulder. Grumph? And they go out to a remote canyon in Utah where a very large basketball hoop regulation has been installed. Says, okay, you got your 13,000 EEE sneakers. You got your hoop. I want you to do 1 million layups. I'll be checking on you. And we see that Godzilla has Nikes that are tailored to his feet.
Wow.
And as Charles Barkley leaves, he says, all right, let's get busy. See you in about 100 years. And then the narration says, Godzilla got busy. And we see Godzilla just, playing basketball. Cut to the other guy. Cut to Charles Barkley, normal size, sitting on an airplane. And this woman asks him, what will you do in the city, Charles? And he says, gotta see a boy about a buck. And we see these two kids. One of them is Matt. One of them is some other kid. And they're saying, do not do two, do not do two. You don't know Barkley, and you can't swish that ball. I do, and I can. Just forget about Barkley. I'll bet you a buck you can't swish that basket. I don't have a buck. Yo, Matthew. Charles, wow. I owe you $1. And then Matt tosses the ball. Whoosh, it goes through. Someone shouts, there it is, from the side. I don't know who. And then Barkley, as they're standing there with those two kids, says, swish. And that's the end of the comic.
That is insane. Mostly because I think we completely glossed over where Godzilla is just playing basketball in Utah for about 100 years?
He's doing layups.
All right. Okay. Well,
That was our
a comic
poll.
that existed. Wow. Godzilla versus Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I say this a lot, but that was a really ridiculous comic.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that was our main segment, and boy, was it weird. And that'll take us to our game, Would You Rather? All right, this is our game, Would You Rather? This is where we take the regular game of Would You Rather and inject comics into it. So, Mike, for this episode, would you rather
Yes.
be a superhero with superpowers or a superhero with training plus a lot of money?
I think superpowers.
Really? Now, these are people like, they could be anybody. You could be Superman.
Yeah.
Be like a Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other side of the coin, superhero with a lot of training plus a lot of money. You've got like Ted Cord,
Yep.
Green Arrow, somebody called Batman, I think. A lot of options. Now, why you say superpowers?
I bruise easy.
That's a pretty valid reason. Now, listen, you'd have training. Most of it would be anti-bruising training. And also, billions of dollars
Sure.
that Morgan Freeman would help you launder
That feels like
so
we're
he
getting
can get you suits of armor
progressively more
to
specific.
keep you from bruising. Unless, of course, you hurt your knee, and then you just put like a nice little robot machine on your knee, and then your knee is fine. In fact, so fine that you can like break bricks with your feet now. Very, very not specific.
I want superpowers.
Okay, now, the real question. If you're not going to take a lot of money and a lot of training, what superpowers would you have if you're giving all that up?
I kind of want super speed.
Really? So
Yeah.
Flash style?
Yeah,
It is good.
it's true.
You can pretty much go anywhere, but here's the thing.
It brought us that great scene from Days of Future Past and that sort of watchable scene from Apocalypse.
Yeah, sort of watchable. That's a pretty good qualifier for it. But yeah, that's true. Now,
Guys, that scene in Apocalypse is actually really dumb. Don't pretend, yes, it's the best part of that movie. Doesn't mean it's good.
that doesn't mean it's great. But basically, so you'd have super speed. Now, why wouldn't you take the training and the money?
Yes, I want money, but I feel like
And we're
if I
talking
have-
about like a stupid amount of money.
I feel like
To
if
the
I-
point where like a person shouldn't be able to have that kind of money and use it so irresponsibly, but you can.
Yeah.
And you do it consistently. Like Danny Rand, too. Like, also, an excessively stupid amount of money.
he has superpowers too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm kind of ignoring the Iron Fist part of it and just the fact that he's
What
like...
are you talking? He is Iron The premise of him is he
But,
makes his fists
forget
magic.
that he can do stuff with his chi. But I
Remember
feel like
that
that's
time he hugged a
trained, right?
dragon until he got a tattoo?
I guess that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Then
did
he
hug a
punched that dragon's heart?
Yeah, that was kind of a real weird twist on that situation. Poor dragon. But...
Sorry, that
forgetting-
dragon's doing fine.
Yeah, I'm sure. Xiaolong?
I don't remember.
Oh boy. So, forget about Danny Rand. Everybody
Never.
has already.
Never.
He's about to be a very popular character on Netflix.
It's true.
Now-
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If I have that much money, I am compelled to do responsible things with it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Like building a giant blue beetle
Yes.
and flying around with it with your best buddy.
Sure.
Doesn't that sound great?
If I have... Here's the thing. Chris Sims has written about this on Comics Alliance. I believe he has. If we accept the premise that Batman has an infinite amount of money,
Yes.
we also assume he is making the same amount of donations to law enforcement and all these things as he is to his Batman enterprise.
Uh-huh.
And even if you're not, you have to keep a pretty strict budget about exactly how much money you're stealing to fund your Batman
You're
enterprises.
telling me a bat blimp is really going to be breaking the bank? Because it is. It definitely is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, like all the custom parts you're buying for that
you
bat
have to
blimp.
find people who are going to make your bat-themed equipment and then not tell everyone they made
Yeah, you're
bat-themed
going to find
equipment.
that guy who
Yeah.
he probably killed.
The Hunchback, yeah.
Hunchback guy that built all of his equipment in the old comics. That's right, everyone. That character existed, and then he disappeared for some reason. Nobody knows what happened to him. There was definitely not a comic about it.
Harold Allnut
Yep.
was his name. And I'm not sure...
Is definitely the correct term.
No, he showed up again. He showed up in Hush, and then he got killed.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He underwent surgery to repair his voice, because remember, he was mute, too.
Yeah, exactly.
And repair his stature. In exchange, he was made to place a hidden circuitry relay into the Batman's main computer, which gave off subliminal signals that affected Batman's mind. Harold attempted to reveal Hush's identity to Batman, but Hush prevents this by shooting him fatally. In his final words, Harold states, "I knew that even if I had been tricked, you, Batman, are my hero. You always would be." Batman responds that he can forgive Harold's betrayal. He understands how powerful the desire to be happy can be. Harold is then buried on a grave on a hill overlooking Wayne Manor. Harold's last name, Allnut, is revealed by Batman, who did some digging, and his full name is engraved on his tombstone.
Mike, I can't tell you how happy I am that this conversation has diverted to all Batman talk.
Powers and abilities. Harold Allnut is a gifted technologist, where he has developed technology for Batman to use.
That is an amazing power.
That is the end of the section on powers and abilities on the
Makes
Wikipedia
sense.
page for Harold Allnut.
Okay, so superpowers, super speed, you'd rather have that and just like a regular job than
Yeah.
being ridiculously stupid rich
Yeah.
with really... And again, not just stupidly rich, but you also have like crazy weird training, like very like, you know, where you can randomly walk in a mountain somewhere in a foreign country and run into a person who's just available to teach you the secrets of something.
Well, again, I feel like that's pretty specific. Well, actually, that's Doctor Strange and Iron Fist, too.
It's a lot of heroes, Mike. The Shadow, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that. Yeah, super speed. More convenient. Less upkeep.
I guess you don't have to pay for gas.
I
Or
mean,
travel.
Yeah.
And I guess it could be like a job. Like you could be like the
Well,
best messenger
I'm not
ever.
necessarily going to run everywhere. I could.
Do you like running now?
No.
So why would you pick super speed? You know you're just going to be running all the time.
I mean, I could walk and just walk super fast.
So you would use it to just quickly get to like the local store?
Look, if I'm fighting crime, superhero, I want super speed. I don't know why. It's just one I've always appealed to me.
Okay. Now when I think about super speed, I really do
If
sometimes
it was my
break
everyday
down.
life, I want to be able to stretch, so I never have to st up and get anywhere.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay.
But if I'm fighting crime, I want super speed.
Because here's the thing.
Although
How super speed-
being stretchy would help with the bruising.
There you go. You're basically plastic. Plastic Man does not bruise. He just gets rubbery dents and then they go away comically.
I guess. Would super speed bruises heal super fast?
I mean, they probably would. I'm taking this as an example that you have Flash powers. But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Flash has also been said, because you have to have this extra ability, that he can process time at super speed.
Yes.
Because otherwise you would just go really fast until you hit a wall immediately and turn into mush, essentially.
Yeah.
So if you're processing everything at super speed, that means you're just running for a very long time.
Yeah, I
So
know.
like if you're like running from like, let's say Los Angeles. You're running from Los Angeles to New York. Now in comics, it's like, he did it in 30 minutes, so something really fast. But the Flash is thinking that entire time in super speed, which
Now,
means
hang on.
he's basically
We don't-
running
we don't-
for weeks.
We don't know that he's thinking, We know that he's processing.
But I feel like it's the same.
I don't know that that's the case. Think about it. If you plug in the coordinates for the hyperspace computer in Star Wars, you say, hey, avoid these obstacles, and it will avoid them. If you're just running, you're like, all right, running. I gotta avoid that. Hey, I'm in New York.
So you think he's kind of like working off of subconscious speed,
I think to a
essentially?
degree. He's aware of his surroundings.
But what about when he's doing problem solving at super speed?
Then he's in super speed mode. He's like straight up, like, he's aware of it.
Interesting. Now, that's definitely a better reality, because when I think about literally running for essentially what would be like 10 weeks,
Also,
right?
how often-
10 weeks
How often
awake?
do I need to get to New York? Or I can just like, I'll buy the ticket for that.
I mean, Hamilton's pretty good, Mike. I mean, you probably should
God damn it, you're right.
get all the way to see.
I don't want to buy a plane ticket, but I really want to see Hamilton.
You really want to see Hamilton, and I mean, it's playing in New York right now. I mean, who knows? Who knows when it's going to come back around again, or when it's going to go on a national tour? So, I mean, you got to get there.
It's going to be on PBS next year.
That's true. But, I mean, can you wait that long? And is it going to be the same original cast?
Yes.
Bastards. Well, you're right. Superpowers are worthless then.
No, that wasn't my point. That wasn't my point at all. Damn you, J. Jones. What about you?
I mean, for me,
Gee, what do we think we're going to go with?
What would I pick? God.
Oh, Jay.
If only there was a superhero or a couple superheroes that were like my favorite.
Turn around, Jay. There's a bat crashing through your window.
Oh my God! I know what I'll be now, Mike. It's wait a second. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, you had it.
Batman. I'll be Batman.
Jay, I regret
My
to
parents were
inform
killed
you.
by windows. just a bunch of windows.
Oh, what a dumb joke.
Guys, I'd probably pick.
Do you want...
training and a lot of money.
Here's the difference, I think.
Okay.
You in real life, Jay, go to the gym.
I do.
I don't.
Here's the thing. I hate the gym.
Yeah, but you go.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I guess when I really think about it, like, Batman works out all the time.
Yes.
Like, all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, not even in, like, a fun way. Like, he goes to yoga classes or he plays kickball. You know, the only ways you can have fun working out. Man, I wish Batman's training down in the Batcave was just kickball.
Well, what a different scene in Batman vs. Superman that would have been. Alfred, come over here. You play some Foursquare.
Amazing. I love now that the idea that Batman only trains with like playground activities.
He had a tire and a rope.
But again, at like
Yes.
But again at like Batman levels.
Yeah.
So like it's
electrified kickball.
Yeah, it's electrified kickballs and like electrified Foursquare. But basically, so I guess if I really thought about it, like you have to train a lot. And I really just hate going to the gym. I do it, but I hate every moment of it.
Sure, you don't have to like it, but you go. I don't go. I'd rather just have the powers given to me.
That's true.
And that is the fundamental difference between whether you want superpowers or super training.
That is the fundamental difference. If I had superpowers, I would just be so lazy.
Yeah, I am
If
now.
I could fly, I would never walk anywhere ever again. Why would you? That's insane. I would just float places.
I'm lazy now.
Yeah.
It's not going to get better when I get powers.
Yeah, I think I'd still go training and a lot of money.
There you go.
Because, I mean, my parents were killing Windows, and how am I going to avenge that? I mean, I got to do it with a lot of extensive training. Guys, that's our answer. Mike has chosen superpowers, and I've chosen training and a lot of money.
Who are you fighting?
I'm fighting...
Who are your villains?
You know, poor construction. I'm really big into, you know, safety and hard hats. Like Hard Hat Man, you know.
So you're just a social activist.
I'm just a social activist.
Not even a social
activist, man.
Not even a social activist. Just like an activist.
Yeah, just like a safety activist.
Yeah.
Safety activist, man. Guys, I'm going to sell a lot of comics. So,
Hot garbage.
guys, this was episode 62 of Because Comics. We'll be posting a new episode every other week. If you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com. That's ARC with a C. Of course, you can email us any questions at becausecomics@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr, all at Partial Arc. And be sure to check out more content from our comic boy wonder, Mike Christensen, at partialarc.com, where he writes articles every Tuesday and Thursday. Thanks for listening, and remember...
Everybody get up. It's time to slam now. We got a real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam.
Oh my gosh. Mike and I just rewatched Space Jam in theaters.
Yes.
In theaters at a movie theater here in Los Angeles, and it was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
That movie still works.
It still works.
Because comics.